Hi scholars, so today we're completing Module 6, Lesson 2. So honestly, I really like this module because I think data is a really fun math concept that is easy to learn and easy to teach and just fun to do. So let's start with the learning intention. Thoughtful mathematicians use tape diagrams to represent data. So data is a collection of information. A picture graph is a graph that uses pictures or symbols to show data. For example, in this picture graph, we have these images of a book with an apple representing the number of books sold at a book sale. So for year one, each book is 5 books sold. So for year one, they sold 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35 books. For year 2, they sold 5, 10, 15, 20 books. Year 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 books. And for year 4, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25 books. So that's what we did yesterday. Today, we're going to use tape diagrams to represent data, and we're going to relate this eventually to bar graphs. Bar graphs are similar to picture graphs, except they use the height or length of rectangles to compare data. So instead of using these pictures, we can use bars to represent the same amount. So for example, I could have these pictures or be a bar, and I can have numbers going across the sides. 1, 2, 3. Well, actually, I would count by 5s, right? That was my interval. 5, 10, 15. So I could do the same. I could represent the same data in different graphs, and it really depends on what your intention is with the data, what you're trying to present, and that is how you know which graph to choose. So let's look at how we can use tape diagrams to present our data. Find the total number of stamps each student has. Draw tape diagrams with a unit size of 4 to show the number of stamps each student has. The first one has been done for you. So I see Dana, Tanisha, Raquel, and Anna, all of their stamps. It says each picture of a stamp represents 1 stamp. So Dana has 4 rows of 4 stamps, and I know 4 times 4 is 16, so Dana has 16 stamps. Tanisha has 2 rows of 4, which is 8. Raquel has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 rows of 4, which is 24, right? 6 times 4 is 24. And Anna has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rows of 4, which is 32, because 8 times 4 is 32. So I want to take this information, these arrays of stamps, and make tape diagrams out of them. So the first one has been done for us is they made groups of 4 to represent this. So I can kind of relate the rows to the amount of boxes I'm going to need inside my tape diagram, or parts, right? Because 1 row is 4, that would be 1 part of my tape diagram. The second row is another, the third row is another, and the fourth row is another. So using that same idea, Tanisha would only need 2 parts of her tape diagram. Now notice I'm not making the tape diagrams the same size because they don't represent the same amount, right? So I'm making each part the same because they're all 4, but the length is going to be different because the same way all these amounts are different, I want my tape diagram to represent that as well. So Raquel, she has, we said 6 rows, so I'm going to need 6 parts, and they're each going to be 4 in each. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, and 24. And then lastly for Anna, I'm going to do an even longer one, which is going to have 8 parts in total. Again, 4 in each. So 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, 24, 28, 28, and 32, because 8 times 4 is 32. So I took my information that I have here represented in these arrays and made tape diagrams of them. Now it says complete the vertical tape diagrams below using the data from problem 1. So I want to use the same information that I just had to make vertical tape diagrams. So basically take these tape diagrams and turn them on their sides. So the first one has been done for me again. See, Dana was going sideways and now it's going, or it was going horizontally, now it's going vertically. That's why they're vertical tape diagrams. So I'm really just gonna copy this information and then switch the order. So how many parts, or how many parts will Tanisha have in her vertical tape diagram? She's gonna have 2. Actually, let me make them equal to Dana's. I want them to be the same size, right? 4, 4. And what about Raquel? She's going to have 6. Again, I want to try to make them equal in size to each other. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Sorry, this looks like a Y, not a 4. There we go. And then Anna, she has 8. Oh, that looks weird. There we go. Okay. Again, try to make them even sizes because they're all 4, so they all should be the same size, or as even as I can possibly make them. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is now the same information I had here on this side, but vertically. Now here, instead of having 4 in each part, I'm having 8 in each part. So if I look back at Tanisha's information, she had 8 total stamps. How many parts am I going to give Tanisha in my vertical diagram for this vertical tape diagram? Now using 8 instead of 4 as my parts. So I would just use 1, right? Because she only has 8 stamps and each part is 8, so I'm just going to have 1 part. Now if we look at Raquel, how much would that be for Raquel? And the way that might help is breaking off the 8s, right? Every 8 you can split it. So if I use that, how many parts of 8 will I have in my tape diagram for Raquel? I'm going to have 3 parts because I get 8, 16, and 24. That's still the same amount she had. She had 24. Also, if I look at how I split this here, 8, 8, 8, that's only 3 parts. So using that same idea, pause the video and try and figure out how much or how many parts or unit sizes of 8 will we need to represent Anna's stamps. So pause now. When you're ready, press play to check if you got that amount correct. All right, welcome back. So I'm actually going to need 4 for Anna because 8 times 4 is 32. So I wonder if you guys can notice the difference between these two. For example, Anna's tape diagrams were kind of the reverse. This was 8 groups of 4, but here it was 4 groups of 8. And it split, it was half the size. What do you notice about all the other ones? On this side and this side when we change the unit size. So each length of each vertical diagram was split in half. Instead of having 4 parts, I had 2. Instead of having 2, I had 1 for Tanisha. Instead of having 6, I had 3 for Raquel. And what I said already, for Anna, instead of having 8, we have 4. So because I doubled the unit size, the length was split in half or divided by 2. Right, that is the end of our lesson. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. As always, you can reach out to me on Schoology or Hangouts if you have any questions. Bye, guys.